Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
The vibe is electric tonight in Ann Arbor. In fact, all across the state. Students packed inside the Chrysler Center, watching the scoreboard ticking down to what clearly at this hour seems to be the school's 11th national championship just a few minutes away. More on that just ahead. Our other top story tonight, though, has to be the weather. A live look at Exact Track 4D radar, and you can see that's a bit of a mess. Forewarned weather team tracking a winter weather advisory for most of southeast Michigan.
The potential for a messy morning commute could lead to school closings. A complete list is updating right now at clickondetroit.com.
In fact, we're declaring tomorrow a forewarned weather alert day. Glad you're with us tonight at 11. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Let's get right over to forewarned meteorologist Brian Sherman in for Kim Adams with a look at the latest timetable for this storm. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, Kimberly and Devin. The timetable still stays the same. This is going to impact the morning commute as we head into our Tuesday. Because of the accumulating snow threat, the National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory for the bulk of southeastern Michigan from 4 a.m. until 11 a.m. tomorrow. These areas stand the best chance to see at least 2 inches of heavy wet snow heading into our Tuesday. Tower cam over in Ann Arbor, a dry evening over at the Big House. Cloud cover and cold temperatures sitting at 33 right now here in Detroit. Also 33 working into Ann Arbor, 32 right now in Lapeer, and 37 as you're checking in with us down in Monroe. The moisture starting to lift off to the north. You can see the snow coming in over Lake Michigan, heading toward Grand Rapids as well as Kalamazoo. Expect this trend to continue through the overnight. Snow overspreading after 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. We start the day tomorrow with heavy snow, temperatures near that freezing mark. But as we warm up, we go to a rain-snow mix around lunchtime, then over to rain tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be a very messy day tomorrow. The biggest impact for tomorrow will be in the morning as we're heading out the door to work or school before we warm things up and go over to that rain tomorrow afternoon. But tomorrow is not the only chance of snow we have in the forecast. With our winter storm number 1 tomorrow, we'll keep some snow into the forecast Wednesday and Thursday before we're looking at the potential of yet another winter storm moving in late Friday night, and this could bring some heavy snow to the region as well. I'll break down a very busy 7-day forecast and time out tomorrow's snow. Your complete forewarned forecast coming up in just a few minutes. And don't forget to download that forewarned weather app. We're updating that hour by hour. Exact Track 4D, school closings, everything you need at the palm of your hand. You can find it in your favorite app store. Just search WDIV.
All right, Brian, and of course the forewarned weather team will be at it all night watching the storm to give you the most accurate snow totals when you wake up. Join us starting at 4:30 a.m. And of course, as Brian just mentioned, any school closings, Darnell Blackburn will be watching the roads with time saver traffic. All right, Michigan's chase for the national championship really heating up right about now.
Yeah, Jamie's here. It has been a great game.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, a really great game, especially if you're wearing maize and blue in Houston or watching right here at home. The offense really leaned on the running game. They rushed for 209 yards in the first half alone. Donovan Edwards scored 2 touchdowns, 17-10 Michigan at the half. Then that first play of the second half, an interception by Will Johnson. Blake Corum scored 2 touchdowns in the second half, including one just a few moments ago. It's still happening, so we can't show you the highlights just yet. 34-13 Michigan late. Bernie and Hobie are there heading to the field to get some post-game reaction, and hopefully we'll hear from them coming up in sports. But I really can't imagine the party in Ann Arbor right now. Chrysler Center packed. Mara is in the middle of the action where thousands of students are buzzing with excitement. Mara, tell us.
Jamie, I think it's kind of like what Tom Petty said, the waiting is the hardest part. These guys are going to absolutely crowd this court once this is over, and we're probably going to get mowed down, but hey, all for a good cause. Chrysler has been crazy in the last 7 minutes here. They know they've got this, barring some sort of crazy divine intervention for Washington. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we should get a barricade, because the minute this thing is over, we're going to get absolutely swamped. We're live in Ann Arbor tonight in Chrysler Arena. Marvin, Local 4.
We were thinking maybe a couple orange cones.
I know,
around
we're
you.
afraid for your safety.
Me too!
Our coverage is just getting started. A little later on, we'll have live coverage of the fan reaction there from Ann Arbor. And, of course, Bernie and Hobie Artigue will be on the field for the trophy presentation. And then you don't want to miss tomorrow morning's newscast. That's where you'll be seeing the behind-the-scenes footage from the field, one-on-one interviews with the night's biggest players. All of this shaping up to be an electric night for the Wolverine Nation, which, of course, spreads all over the world these days. Everybody watching it. Almost over. Just about 3 minutes to go in the game. But Michigan is going to win its 11th national championship. All right, new at 11 tonight, we are going to have to wait to learn more of the fate of Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum in Farmington Hills.
The city's planning commission has approved a plan to tear it down. The developer that owns the land wants to give the site a facelift, demolishing Marvin's and replacing it with a smaller footprint, is what they say. They want to put a Meijer there. Pamela Osborne joins us live. Pamela, City Council is tabling that decision.
Yeah, you know, this whole thing went pretty late, and city council members, they came with their questions and their concerns tonight. They asked several questions of the property owners about their proposal to transform that strip mall, which would mean no more Marvin's, at least at that existing location. But there were hang-ups. The biggest issues seemed to be the proposed drive-through that was there and how that would impact traffic in the area. Then there was the issue of the Meijer itself, mainly the proposed amount of signage on the building, which would take up about 70,000 square feet, the Meijer itself that would be of that property. For the handful of people who spoke tonight about that plan, it was about how that redevelopment would phase out Marvin's, a one-of-a-kind, unique, family-friendly business at the center of that strip mall.
And unlike many of the other companies within the mall that would most likely benefit from a relocation, Marvin's would truly suffer. The history, the character, and the memories that have been preserved for generations within the cramped walls of our storefront is beyond words. And the decision to destroy this lineage so that a Meijer or a wine liquidator can take its place is a slap in the face for the citizens of Farmington Hills and the people who believe that in the government to protect these institutions from being phased out by big business.
And the man you heard from there is a manager over at Marvin's. He says more than 50,000 people signed a petition in hopes of keeping Marvin's right there at that location. In the end, board members decided they needed a little bit more time to make a decision. They needed more information before they could vote yes or no, so they tabled it. It comes back up on February 12th. For now, reporting live in Farmington Hills, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
Okay, Pamela, thank you.
An 11-year-old boy has died after a drive-by shooting in Detroit.
Investigators say the child died after being shot in what appears to be totally random gunfire. It happened Sunday night near a home on Beaconsfield on the city's east side. We're told a group of kids were outside roller skating. Police say someone drove past those children, stopped, and opened fire on them. Police say the kids had no interaction with those in the vehicle. An 11-year-old was hit. If you have any information, call Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
One of the campus buildings where last year's mass shooting took place at Michigan State is now open again. Berkey Hall reopened for classes today, though the rooms where the shootings took place have been sealed. Students Ariel Anderson and Alexander Werner were shot and killed during evening classes in the building. Another student, Brian Frazier, was fatally shot at a different building. 5 other students were wounded by the gunman. Today, a therapy dog and counselors were there for students and staff members.
One of the biggest names in radio and podcasting is filed for bankruptcy. You may listen to one of several Odyssey radio stations here in Detroit. Its local stations include WWJ News Radio 950, 97.1 The Ticket, Country Station 99.5, and Detroit's greatest hits WOMC. The company is undergoing a restructuring to drastically cut its debt, and it says it doesn't expect any impact on operations during this process. A Detroit landmark is officially ready for the Lions' run to a Super Bowl.
City has decked out the spirit of Detroit in, of course, a Lions jersey. Lions will play the Los Angeles Rams. Who else would it be? Sunday night at Ford Field. First playoff game at Ford Field, and it brings the return of former Lion Matthew Stafford. Of course, now the Rams quarterback, and you can see the game right here on Local 4 next Sunday night at 8:15.